Hello everyone, thanks for joining us for week 10 of the DKMR Invitational. I'm Kobayashi Maru, your host, and I'm joined tonight by a special caster, and her name is Shade. You guys might not know her, but because she's new to the Hearthstone community, but she's a wonderful caster, and I'm really excited to have her here. She was with us last week as well. Shade, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm really good, I'm excited. We got Gaara here tonight from Tempo Storm.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this. It's going to be good.
It's going to be great. So for those of you out there who don't know who's playing tonight, I just kind of spoiled it. It is Gaara from Tempo Storm, and he'll be competing against two DKMR pros if he can beat first Kisstafer in a best of 5, and then potentially he'll get to then play WhtPwdr, who's a new member of DKMR, but a really solid player. So you guys know that the last quarter of Naxx is out. So I know we're all kind of wondering what cards are going to be in there. I know personally I'm really curious to see if Kel'Thuzad's going to make an appearance. And yeah, we're going to have a great show for you tonight. It'll be a best of 5, then a best of 7. And this is what Hearthstone's all about. Pros competing, new decks, and a lot of great plays. Looks like they're picking their decks. So let's get prepared.
We also got Gaara's name fixed at the top in the title as well, so that's always
Oh, we
good.
did! Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for doing that. Shade, you were responsible for that. You made that happen.
Well, I messaged as many people as I could.
Alright, guys. So, it looks like we have a hunter being picked. Yeah, it looks like Kisstafer's picking his hunter, and Gaara hasn't picked just yet. He's kind of taking a few moments to decide. And looks like it's going to be Hunter versus Hunter as our first match of the evening. So into the mulligans, and I was really hoping Gaara would have changed his game to English, and it looks like he hasn't.
Oh no.
So this might be in German.
Half of it'll be in English, half of it'll be in German.
Oh, I'm having problems with Kisstafer's stream. I'm always having problems with Kisstafer's stream. Okay, it's in German, guys. It's in German. So let's look at these mulligans. So the main stream is going to be in English, but then Kisstafer's cards are going to be in German, but Kisstafer's cards are going to be in English. So talking about the mulligan, he got rid of everything that is Gaara, and he got Eaglehorn, Animal Companion, Flare. That's not bad. Don't know what any of those mean in German. Leroy, Haunted Creeper. I like keeping Haunted Creeper, Unleash, Animal Companion, Flare. Those are not bad. So as you can see here, guys, Gaara's cards are German and the others are English. I'm going to fix this stream real quick. If you want to, Shade, talk a little bit about the game while I get everything on the overlay perfect.
Yeah, sure. I really like keeping the Haunted Creeper with Hunter on a coin, especially if you're running something like a Houndmaster. You can just pop out the Haunted Creeper and turn 3, just throw on the taunt and get a little bit extra damage in, especially in a mirror matchup. Hunters aren't running Black Knights, so it's something that you really have to deal with either Hunter's Mark or just having to really just run everything into it. Mm-hmm. It's really strong.
Yeah. So this is a live broadcast. There is a delay, but in reality, this wasn't done yesterday. Everything's live, so sometimes we have to get a few things fixed. And it looks like the bottom of Gaara's cards are kind of chopped off, which is not ideal, but we will do the best we can with it. And we lost a stream. Don't know what's going on there. We're having some technical difficulties here. We'll see if we can't get these fixed for you. Would you message Poach for me real quick and see if you can let him know that we are, in fact, not seeing... Thank you.
No problem.
I think we're having some in-game difficulties, so just give us a second, guys. Bear with us. Okay, so Gaara's gonna play out the Vulture. And Kisstafer's stream is still down. We're working on that.
Yeah, they're not able to see Kisstafer's cards right now, but we'll be able to see what he puts down on the board for sure.
Sorry about that, guys. Usually we get this rolling much more smoothly and quicker, but you know, we have a new challenger every week. It's hard for everyone to kind of get used to the adjustments, and ultimately we'll just get these things sorted as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and there's the okay, so it's a coin animal companion. It's pretty standard. Be interesting to see if he takes care of the Huffer or just kind of continues to go for face or drop something of his own.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna race each other, I feel like.
Yeah, I think losing the early buzzard would probably be a little bit harder on Gaara than it will be on Kisstafer, losing the Huffer.
Yeah.
Just not having that later on with his Unleash the Hounds is going to be difficult.
Yeah, he has to really hope he gets another one in time to unleash. You know, these hunter decks, you know, they're playing, as you could see, some of the later game cards. And in that regard, these aren't just full-on face hunters. So you're gonna have some Stranglethorn Tigers, some things like that. There's also maybe potentially there's a Black Knight in one of these decks as well. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of like mid to late-ish game stuff going on, so it makes sense in some regards to trade. So I understand trading that with the Animal Companion in that case.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's not something that he can just leave on the board.
Yeah.
Leaving a 4-2 on the board with Hunter versus Hunter matchup wouldn't be very wise. So.
And it looks like Kisstafer's running the high main, so this is kind of Moonlight Hunter-ish with some Nax cards in there. It's actually going a little slow because we can't see both players' cards, so we can't see exactly what's happening from one side, but I'm sure this game will pick up speed very shortly. 3 mana. Let's see. I'm kind of feeling like the Spectral Spiders. Yeah, I think that's kind of the best play here.
It's a little bit off curve to put that out turn 4 instead of like a turn 3 and then being able to Houndmaster. But you know, it's still good to at least get it out there.
Also, I mean, I think putting on the weapon was another option, but I could see that you want to arm the weapon and then attack kind of as a surprise, maybe not give away that you have it. So I could see the advantage of that. Once your opponent knows you have a weapon, especially if you don't have any secrets, you have a limited amount of use on it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely more probably because he doesn't have any secrets in hand right now. It's a little bit iffy to play the weapon.
Cool. All right, so I think you want to take care of the spider since you've got the buff, and then maybe use your companion to finish off one of the spiders. Maybe potentially bring down Houndmaster. I mean, you've got a lot of options here. The other thing you do is Houndmaster your spider and then just go face. I mean, that's fully acceptable.
Well, you definitely kind of have to make up a little bit for the aggression that's already been put towards your hero as well. Kind of catch up on that end.
We'll see.
He can also just totally clear the board with his weapon as well. It's a little bit less ideal, but it keeps control of his board, and he doesn't lose anything for it.
He doesn't lose anything. He gets the weapon brought to bear. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I would prefer the Houndmaster. I think tempo is kind of important here, and a 4/6 is pretty scary. It's going to take at least 2 cards to get rid of. Hunter's Mark and maybe something else. So I like going for face here. And yeah, Gaara agrees. So we're going to see, it was kind of control-y just for a minute with that Huffer down, but I think we're going to see with this board presence, Gaara shift into a very aggressive stance as he has board control, which I really like.
Yeah, and using Hunter's Mark on something like a Leok isn't really ideal either. It's usually something you're going to want to save for, like Savannah High mains or whatever you end up getting out of web spinners, something along those lines. So.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It is certainly not ideal. You're putting your opponent in a tough situation. So Kisstafer's got a decision to make on 5 mana. We don't know what his cards are. I mean, if you can unleash here, this might be worth unleashing with a Hunter's Mark. I mean, the board is pretty scary. You've got your Houndmaster already being buffed as well. Your spiders being buffed. You really have got to do something here. If you had a trap that could deal with these, that would be really solid. But I think you have to find a way to deal with this. Okay, so That's 5 damage. That's not bad. And then, okay, so it looks like he will clear the majority of what's scary out here. And that's not bad. That's not bad.
Well, it's definitely the better of the situation that could have happened. Not being able to deal with it at all and having to take that much more damage to the face would have been pretty much game-ending, I think.
But now Kisstafer's down a kill command. He's down a Hunter's Mark. So if the board gets repopulated, it'll be tricky. But it's not exactly like that can be done. I guess you could Buzzard Unleash. And remember how we were saying earlier that using that Buzzard might come back to bite him? Well, it doesn't look like it's gonna. So he's got the combo here.
Well, and I think he might be better off just waiting until he has the mana to be able, especially since he has Leroy in his hand, he might just be better off waiting until he can just unleash the whole combo with the Leroy and the Unleash the Hounds and the Buzzard. Yeah. He also has Timberwolf too, so really he pretty much has everything in his hand that he needs.
Yeah, I really do like waiting at least one turn to get the Timberwolf out. Certainly, it also helps when your opponent has more minions on the board to make the Unleash worth it. So I like the weapon here. Face, hero power, face. Yeah, okay, so he's gonna kill him real quick. Yeah. Gaara wants to end this real fast, but he took his time to think about it, which is really interesting, right? He took his time, he thought through all of his options, and came up with face. It's a good answer.
Well, considering the opponent Kisstafer has 2 minions on the board right now, it would have been, you know, pretty much an ideal time to be able to drop that Unleash the Hounds. Especially if he's concerned that Kisstafer might not flood the board any more than he already has.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I think that's true.
So he really had 2 plays there. It was kind of just deciding between the 2 of them and which would be better for him in the long run.
I like his play. What do you think? You prefer
this? Yeah,
this?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully he's able to draw into a secret or something and maybe get a little bit more value out of his weapon. But he's got quite a bit of damage on Kisstafer already, so. Yeah,
and next turn, if he Leroy Unleashed, that'd be 6 if the 2 minions are on the board, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'd be 13 damage. That's a lot. I mean, 14 if his minion stays alive. So, you know, he already has potentially 14 damage on the next turn. So I feel like you probably don't Unleash here, and you don't use the Leroy, but it's just that's how close he is. It's really about to happen. Oh, looks like we got
the weapon.
All right, we got the stream back, ladies and gentlemen. It was just a little hiccup in Kisstafer's stream, and we can see in his hand his own Unleash, a Flare, and is that Deadly Shot?
Yeah, it looks like a Deadly Shot.
Yeah. So I think
that would have probably come in a little bit more handy with the large taunt that was out earlier, for sure.
He did have 3 minions, though, so it was going to be hard to use it. All right, well, I don't really think you need to save your weapon here. You can pretty much...
Well, with 2 Unleash the Hounds in your hand, I think you can pretty much just push for the damage that you have right now. And
yeah, I think Buzzard Unleash, go for the damage, maybe even bring out the Wolf, the one cost minion. And then next turn you have another combo. I think it's over. Unless you see your opponent doing lethal damage to you. But again, he doesn't have taunts. He doesn't have any way to sort of protect himself from that other than to go face. So he's going to go Leroy. He's going to Unleash. So he's choosing to do it in this order, which is interesting.
Well, I definitely think that's the right way to go. With the extra minions that Leroy gives, you get more value out of your Unleash the Hounds.
As opposed to the Buzzard to draw more cards, because he doesn't really need anything, right?
Well, he's got everything he has everything that he needs in his hand right now, and aside from running his face and killing himself into the Leroy, there isn't really a way that Kisstafer has right now to survive. Yeah. Or even push for more damage himself.
Okay, so he's going to leave the spider up, which could be Houndmastered or something, but ultimately he doesn't want the extra spiders out there, the spectral spiders. Or the
well, a reverse Unleash the Hounds would be not ideal for Gaara in this situation.
But Kisstafer does have an animal companion, so he's really hoping for not the Huffer.
Probably the worst one he could have gotten out of that.
It's not good. It's not good. And so he can at least trade the 1/2. He can Unleash. He can also Deadly Shot. So
yeah, he could have traded his Spider for the 1/1 Hound and then Deadly Shot. I think that's what I would have done there.
Well, that's going to be almost game. Let's see, that's 2 from the Unleash plus, yep, that's it. That's 6 damage minimum. So it's just going to be a simple Unleash, then buff them all, +1, and then hero power for the game.
Yep.
Alright, well that was a pretty quick, turn 8 kill here. Hunter versus Hunter. Kisstafer is really known for his Hunter, so, and I know it's one of the decks he's most comfortable with, though certainly that's a really good start for Gaara, and he must be off to, feeling like he's off to a good start, and Kisstafer must be feeling a little nervous, I would say. What do you think?
Well, I mean, the Hunter versus Hunter matchup is pretty much, I think, just who draws the combo that you need faster, and Gaara really had everything that he needed in his hand in order to take that match, so it was really convenient for him.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. It was pretty straightforward, but I think the early board presence he gained and that Kisstafer lost, because Kisstafer tried to take presence, then Gaara took it back. That swing was really something that Kisstafer couldn't come back from with the cards in his hand.
Yeah, well, and, you know, that deadly shot wasn't really useful until he needed to kill off the Leroy, but having something else in his hand, like maybe getting that Houndmaster earlier, or even just having, like, a Buzzard to help with his card draw, because he only had 3 cards in his hand in the end of his second to last turn, so it would have been a lot easier for him to handle the situation with more cards.
Yeah, and Kisstafer's got the option here between Rogue and a Warrior. And, you know, those Rogues tend to be Miracle-y, but those Warriors tend to have a lot of armor and a ton of taunts. So what would you prefer here in this situation?
I think, again, the same kind of thing with Miracle Rogue versus Hunter. Each player really needs to draw the cards in order to kind of survive. With Warrior, I think it might be a little bit easier for him to handle the rush and the damage of the Hunter, just being able to hero power and with shield blocks to kind of stay alive just throughout this and maybe save the Miracle Road for something different.
Certainly, and these new Warriors are running your standard kit of parts, but they're also running the Unstable Ghoul, which is great. It's a good card, slows him down to 1/3 with taunt that when it dies does 1 damage to everything.
The new Deathbite is really good.
Oh my god. Deathbite,
Yeah.
I've been playing this deck, a very similar deck. I love the Deathbite, especially like turn 7 Deathbite, and you attack or use one of your charges, and then you turn 8 bring down Gromish, finish off your second attack, enrage Gromish. That's 28 damage to the face if you want it, and or 18 damage to the face if you want it, excuse me. So, and it looks like Kisstafer stream's a little bit ahead, just a tad ahead. So, yeah. We'll just try to get those in sync real quick here. Let me see if I can get those in sync. It'll just take a second.
No problem. Stuff like that happens when events are live.
Yep, and Kisstafer chooses the Rogue, the Miraculixed Rogue, the most Miraculixed Rogue ever. Shiv, Prep, Shadow Step. And I think Shiv's good, Prep, and Shadow Step, I would probably get rid of both those. I think you're going to really need to lock down the Hunter early.
Yeah, I would consider keeping the Shiv, just to maybe help with the card draw early. Then again, you might want to also look for some backstabs or SI7s as well.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, and he draws a backstab and an SI7.
Look at that. It was a great prediction and exactly what he's going to need. We got a Houndmaster, a Flare, that was a Hyena and a Spider. This Spectral Spider, I mean, this card, it's so good for the Hunter. It's a 1/1. It starts to get you going, and it gets you a potentially amazing. I mean, imagine if you get another Hyena, right? A potentially amazing card. And if you don't get it, fine. Then you just had a 1/1 on the board. It costs you 1. Like, what's the downside to this?
Yeah, definitely. I think as we saw last week, my favorite thing coming out of the Web Spinner is definitely King Crush.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's always a really fun thing to see.
Mm-hmm. He's got the Unleash. He's got the coin. You know, I think a turn 3 Houndmaster on the 1/1 if it's still alive would be good, but I don't think it's going to make it that far against a Rogue. So I feel like the Rogue's actually in a pretty good starting position here. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Black Knight. and the Lothab this early, but I really like the SI, the backstab, and the Shiv.
Yeah, well, especially against a hunter, like I said, the Shiv is really valuable when you come across things like the Buzzard and the web spinners. The Rogue Hero Power is also really good for handling stuff like that as well. You take a little bit more damage to your face, but I think it's more worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well,
he got the King Crash off of his web spinner as well.
So baller. Look at that. That is such a great... I mean, if he gets that far, right?
Yeah.
Let me throw on a little
I mean, it's definitely a card that needs a little bit of work, but it's fun.
Just going to throw on just a little in-game music in the background.
So I think his turn is just Flare and...
Yeah, I mean...
Here. There isn't too much that he can do with the hand that he has and 2 mana.
It's not a great... Yeah, I mean, there's not much you're going to do right now, especially with this hand. You certainly have the Unleashed, so you want to save your Buzzard.
Well, he has everything he needs for later turns. It's just the first couple are kind of just hero powers past turn.
And it's kind of interesting because when that happens, the Miracle usually wants to deal with things early. Rogues in general, they want to be establishing their own presence against the opponent's board, but there's no board. So he's going to drop a Blood Mage. I mean, it just is what it is. It'll cycle, basically.
Yeah. Well, and he also has the Backstab SI7 in his hand, too, and that's always really useful for clearing and kind of establishing a good board presence, is being able to clear and then put down your own minions. But with having nothing on the board on the hunter side, it's kind of hard for him to establish that.
It's like, I don't really have much to clear here. What am I going to do? So, yeah. I kind of feel like... Yeah, I was going to say Hero Power, maybe the Boar, but... I mean...
I really like just saving up the Boar and then next turn being able to Boar and coin and maybe add on the Houndmaster on top of that as well with the 5 mana.
I really like that. Yeah, I think that's really nice. That's a really good 5 mana turn.
Shiv doesn't get much use here other than the 1 to the face, but
yeah, I don't...
It's important for him.
He could do it if he's trying to get his gadgets in. It's worth doing. I mean, nothing's been played. I just feel like...
I think he Shiv here just to be able to get the chance of gadgets in for next turn.
He could play the SI because he has Shadow Step, and that's definitely a possibility. So yeah, I think that's what he's gonna do. Okay, I can see the merit in that. Looks like we have another hiccup in that stream, guys. Sorry about that. We'll try to remember what cards he had.
It's interesting to see the Black Knight in there as well. That should come in handy if he's able to get some value off that with the Houndmaster from Gaara.
Yeah, I was watching someone from Tempo Storm talk about, it might have been Gaara. It was someone from Tempo Storm talking about the I think it was Gaara, yeah, talking about his warrior deck, and he was talking about in particular the Black Knight, and he's saying that almost every single deck in the meta on the ladder in tournaments is running some form of taunt or a way to create a taunt, like and I think that's true. I think right now with how powerful some of the like Sludge Belcher cards are, and certainly Hunter's got his own ability. Oh no,
we're losing something.
I think we might have. Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Give me a second here.
Oh, the stream went offline.
Yeah. Sorry we lost you guys. Let's see if we're back online. Can you guys tell me if are we back online?
I don't see anything just yet.
Alright, we'll try to get this back as soon as possible. Alright, I'm gonna... Alright. should be back. We
I
should
don't
be
see
back,
anything.
guys. We should be back up. Didn't really miss much. Sorry that we just dropped the stream there.
I'm just refreshing to see if it's back up.
Yeah, should be back up, guys.
Yep, we're good.
Alright, sorry about that, everybody. We are back. I don't know what happened. The stream just dropped. That is going to happen from time to time. Rarely happens, but apologies for that. So we're still here with Gaara's Hunter versus Kisstafer's Miracle Rogue, and it's been a fairly slow start. We're still on turn 5 here, turn 6 now for the Rogue, and there really hasn't been a lot going on. We had the SI come down, get played out. Did it get shadow stepped and then played again for its power?
No, he just put it down, didn't get any value off the combo.
Okay. So yeah, we're yeah, well, the game is just kind of progressing. It's been a little slow, so you didn't miss much, and we're back. Sorry about that.
Pretty standard plays from here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be super surprised to see the Shadow Step come out.
Yeah, and you know, that King Crush might come in handy from the web spinner in a little bit, but it's just not that time just yet. So,
Well, you definitely would have to get off. I think King Crush is a finisher, which is
for sure.
probably be the best play for Gaara.
Oh, yeah.
He just needs to get off a little bit more damage here.
Mhm.
Probably see the high main come out since he's not able to really play any spells this turn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you do want to start dealing with this board. Yeah, I feel like high main is really a pretty solid way to establish yourself, establish your board presence. Yep. Okay, and Gaara agrees. Yeah, I don't know if I would bring it down.
I think you just need to keep going
Yeah. Face.
for the face, yeah.
Oh, he's gonna bring it down 1. Okay. Maybe then when he
Maybe hoping
unleashes.
for, yeah, unleash or
Okay.
explosive
I
trap.
could
I
see
haven't
that.
seen any secrets from him out of this yet, actually.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if Kisstafer deals with the Savannah high main, or just goes for face.
Looks like he doesn't really particularly care. I think he's gonna go full face.
I don't think he can drop a gadget stand until he deals with the high main.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, technically, I mean, both the Savannah high main as well as the 2 hyenas can both deal with the gadget stand that comes out if it's not concealed right away.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Not sure what happened with Kisstafer's stream again. Alright, well, he is going to bring down the gadgets and he's not... Oh, he's going to sap the high main. Well, that actually is a wonderful way of dealing with it. Such an expensive minion to bring down that just sapping it back really doesn't just get you tempo, but it gets you so much value because effectively you're going to cast a bunch of spells, you can start going to face, and you don't really even have to worry about it. Oh, and he's going to bring it back.
Yeah,
So
well, that's
that-
something that can be easily dealt with too. If you were to just drop a Timberwolf and kill command, you can just get rid of that really easily. And it's so essential to a rogue that you just need to take really good care of it while it's out on the board.
Especially if you only have 1, right?
Yeah, and if you're not going to conceal it that turn as well, you definitely need to bring it back.
Yeah. So again, sorry guys about that stream drop. Not sure really what happened there, but we are back, we are live, and everything is seems to be going fine.
I think chat's enjoying the fact that all the cards are in German.
Yeah. Makes it fun to cast. Timberwolf. Deadly Shot.
That was a really good draw,
Yeah.
getting the Hunter's Mark out of the 3 draws that he got from the Unleash the Hounds and the 2 Savage,
Yeah, and he's got a really full hand. He's at 20 health. You know, it's possible that the rogue could pull off a miracle. But it's probably going to take at least 1 more turn with 8 mana.
I don't think he has too much to be scared of on the Hunter side right now. Maybe just the fact that he just drew like 15 cards from his deck might be a little bit concerning. but 24 health isn't too scary.
Yeah. I think, I mean, yeah, dealing with this board is fine. You really don't want, even though he's got a ton of cards, you don't really want him drawing anymore. It looks like, though, he is going to opt to leave one of the buzzards around. I mean...
I think that's the first time I've seen a Sludge Belcher and a Rogue as well.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah. That's
I
true.
guess it's a good thing to put down right now as well, especially since you've just seen the Hunter's Mark come out.
Mm-hmm. Also, I mean, you would have to take a risk on a deadly shot, right? You'd have to gamble on that. And even if you do gamble on it, the 2/1 taunt comes out if you get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad card. I think it's really useful in a lot of decks these days. And maybe the Miracle's got it in there just to last a little bit longer and give him a little bit more board presence as he tries to get to the Miracle.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be interested to see what he kind of took out or substituted for the Sludge Belcher, and if he's even running, is he running 2 or just 1? You get a little bit more control-y when you put in more than 1, I think, so.
Mm-hmm. Silence is nice. It's really nice right here. I think it's a really solid play. Ooh, another kill command, right? Timberwolf. And he's gonna get to... I would get rid of the Earthen Ring. I'll kill command and get rid of the Earthen Ring. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and you've really gotten all the card draw that you're going to need out of the 2 buzzards as well, so it's a safe play to make as well.
And then just hero power, yeah. Pretty nice, down to 23. So the Rogue's got a... I think it's time to Gadget Zen again, right? You've got to, right? You're getting to that point where if you don't draw exactly what you need and start working towards lethal, you're going to die pretty soon.
And having backstabbed it before, he gets it for 3 mana, so it's... a huge plus on that end as well, the ability to get out more spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, having Shadow Stepped it, absolutely. Absolutely.
Looks like Kisstafer's stream came back for a second there.
For a second, yeah. I always seem to have trouble with his stream. Okay, Eviscerate. For face, so I think that's kind of a telltale sign here that he's got lethal next turn. Right?
Yeah, well, double eviscerate to the face is definitely a sign that you need to start being a little bit more careful.
Yeah. I think
20 is usually the scary end to be when you're playing against a rogue.
Yep.
If he has a Blade Flurry here, he could also clear the whole board, but it doesn't look like he has it.
Yeah. 9 health. I mean, that's pretty much game. You have to assume you're dead next turn, right? So what can you do here? I can't see the card on the very bottom left. It's just his screen is cut off. It's not that
I think that the King Crush. You can see the little legendary thing along the top.
And then the one next to it, that's 4 mana. Is that Leroy?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Leroy.
Yeah, they
and
both
King
have
Crush.
the legendary border around the top, so it should be King Crush
So
and
Leroy
Leroy.
and King Crush. Okay, that's not going to be too helpful right here. Savannah Highmanes. I mean, they give you good board presence, but ultimately, I mean, he's gonna kill this minion.
I think you just need to deadly shot to kill it and save your board, and maybe just push for damage with the kill command and maybe a weapon.
Yeah, I think that's probably gonna be game, but yeah, that might be the best he can do. Flare. Okay, I like that. Okay, let's see if you can draw something like an Animal Companion or a Hound Master.
A Hound Master, yeah.
No, that's not gonna do it. And he can't Buzzard Unleash. So, yep, it's going to be Deadly Shot. Oh, it hit its mark. That's a big surprise. And Freezing Trap.
Oh, the Freezing Trap. I didn't even see that in his hand.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that either. Okay, that's really nice. That will prevent potentially a significant amount of damage, right?
I think it's fairly obvious to Kisstafer what that would be, though.
Yeah.
So definitely not going to see a Leroy come out here, I don't think, unless he has something else, some other charge to play with it. But I can't see that being the case.
Yeah, if you could charge something first and then ring Leroy, that would be brutal. But I don't know what does this rogue have that it would do that with. It looks like he doesn't have anything else that would do that. No.
On that end, though, Gaara has a pretty decent hand right now, so if he is able to stabilize at least for 1 to 2 more turns, he might actually be able to turn it around.
Yeah.
He has a kill command and a King Crush in his hand.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So-
he could certainly kill that rogue in 2, maybe 1, maybe probably 2 turns, but it's just a question.
Well, he has the Leroy, Unleash the Hounds, and if he's able to keep the Timberwolf alive, that's some extra damage for his hounds as well.
Yeah. In fact, with Leroy and Unleash, that's almost lethal with the weapon and the hero power.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do all of that at 10 mana. So actually, I think he'd have lethal next turn. I believe with the minions on board, he would definitely have lethal. Without the minions on board, he might have it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he would have needed one of the two minions on board to stay.
Or for Kisstafer to take the 3 to the face from...
Yes,
That
exactly.
would have as well.
But Earthen Ring's gonna put an end to that, and yeah, I think that's.
Well,
probably-
he can deal. He can deal with. Does he think he has it? Maybe.
No, but this is still a good. This is still a good unleash.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh wait, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that actually will do
He has it
it.
with the hero power or the kill command, right?
Yeah, and the hero
Yeah.
power and the kill command.
Kill command. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually
He
having.
just really needed to be able to survive that turn and not get Leroyed. And
Yeah,
that freezing
Yeah.
trap really helped with that.
the freezing trap did help. It prevented his opponent from Leroying himself. Yeah, so basically the buff with the Timberwolf gave him a bit of the extra damage. He wouldn't have needed all of it because he also had the weapon, but the kill command, hero power, all that would have given him enough with at least 1 or 2 of those minions. And also, the Earthen Ring coming down gave him an additional minion on the Unleash, which we weren't counting for when we were looking at that original lethal.
Yeah.
Nicely done. So that's gonna be 1-1. Kisstafer's fighting back. So both hunters are down now. All right. So what do you think here? Gaara is working with a.
No, it's actually. It should be 2-0 for Gaara, right? Because he still has his hunter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right.
You confused me for a second.
You are absolutely right. It is absolutely 2-0.
Yep.
I was so expecting that Miracle Rogue to win. Ah.
That
You're right.
9 health kind of threw us off, I think.
No, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. So, 2-0 Gaara, and the hunters are. Yeah, the hunter is up still. It is not down. So this is This is Kisstafer's last deck. Yeah. I mean, this is a really good deck, and it very much has the potential to deal with a hunter, but warriors are a little slower, and so he's going to need to armor up a lot, maybe get some of his armor smiths, maybe a potential cruel taskmaster combo on that, sort of get himself to where he wants to be. He's got Gaara's got Leroy and a high main, which is really not good, so Flair's good here to maybe draw something reasonable. There you go, web spinner, not bad. So do you hero power next turn, or do you web spinner, and then use your boar?
I think maybe you web spinner on 3, so it's a little bit easier on your curve.
Yeah.
You just hero power and drop the web spinner.
Yep.
Then again, by 3 mana, it could just get taskmastered for the 1 damage, which it's a card that you just are kind of looking to get the new card off of.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But
So
it is a little bit easier.
let's see if he agrees. I mean, I think the only reason you might want a web spinner here is that you really don't have much. Well, no, you got the animal companion now.
Yeah, you just draw on the animal companion. I would put the web spinner down now.
Yeah, that makes a better turn 3 play. But you could also use your hero power. Next turn, animal companion, and then the following turn you can play the web spinner. It's just a question of, does he want to go for tempo or does he want to go for mana efficiency? And I don't know. Maybe versus a warrior. It depends on how you think. If you think you can rush a warrior down, I think that'd be really hard. But
Well, and you also have to think that turn 4, anything past turn 4, you have to be wary of the death rattle from the death spite.
Mm-hmm.
So if he gets to clear the web spinner off the board, as well as possibly clear other things like whatever comes off the animal companion with the death spite,
right,
then it's giving it a little bit more value than you would want to.
right.
So I definitely
you're
agree
still-
with playing
It's still the same amount of damage, though, because it would have been 2 hits on that. So, ooh, okay. Well, he gets a minion he can play, but I'm guessing it's going to be animal companion time. Yep. All right, what do we get here? Huffer. It's Huffer all day. Huffer all day.
It trades pretty easily with the Taskmaster, but he still gets that 4 damage off, which is pretty valuable when you're likely going to end up against a warrior who's just going to try and stack their armor.
Mm-hmm. And next turn he can play the 2/3 as well as the hero power, so that's not bad.
So it ended up being really strong for his curve.
Mm-hmm. I still feel though like that the warrior's ability to armor up and with such late game cards, it's just, if you don't really get a great start, I feel like you're at a disadvantage as the hunter. But I mean, we'll see how this plays out. He does have the high main. Just feels a little slow.
Well, and the web spinner did help with that as well, giving him the more low cards. I think it would be really great if he's able to draw a Houndmaster within the next 2 turns.
Yeah.
But as of right now, his hand is okay for what he has going on.
I mean, I'm wondering what he's deciding on here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we can't see his cards for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he might think about armoring up and then using Shield Slam. I don't see any reason. I mean, keeping the 2/2 on board is fine. I feel like the armor is not a bad idea because you need to start getting your armor up. Unstable Ghoul. Okay, I like that. That's really easy. That's just he's gonna still trade, but it's gonna allow him to prevent any further damage to his face for a little bit. It's kind of delaying, as the warrior would like to do. And maybe if it doesn't die this turn, next turn he can play draw into or play you know, something that really ties in well with it. You know, we've got I mean, I think he probably in that case would have already played his Armor Smith, but I feel like, yeah, I mean, I think he would have probably played the Armor Smith in that situation, so he probably doesn't have that.
Or even an Acolyte would have worked well there.
He could be protecting an Acolyte, but I'm looking at this deck and he's not running any Acolytes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, let me just triple check. Wait. Yep. No Acolytes. I don't believe. No, I don't believe there's any Acolytes in here. Per the deck list I have, no Acolytes. So, kind of narrows it down a little bit. Really interesting. I love the Acolytes in the Control Warrior deck, so...
Well, you have so much activation for it, especially with, you know, being able to drop an Acolyte and an Armor Smith and getting both of the actives off there.
Yeah. Death Spite. Alright. Beast de Tos, I think that's it. He's going to trade in.
And he's still able to keep the minion alive on the board, which is ideal.
Okay, so he's going to flare immediately. And, ooh, a Hyena, Scavenging Hyena. That's not bad. You could Scavenge and Spectral Spider.
You have to be a little bit wary that the Hyena only has 2 health, and if it's something that you want to keep around for more damage to face, then you don't really want to lose it right away.
Right.
And you have 2 Death Rattles that deal 1 damage to the board on the warrior side, so those 2 Death Rattles alone take care of the Scavenging Hyena.
I know, but the problem is that he has nothing really else to play but the Spectral and then Hero Power, which, I mean, it's not bad, I just don't feel like it's imposing any will. I feel like the warrior's been given a free ride most of this game. What do you think?
So far, yeah, I think that's definitely the case. If he puts down the spiders and hero power, the spider's just going to get cleared with the death rattle from the weapon.
Yep.
But it's still more damage to face, I guess, with...
Alright, so he brings down the hyena. I guess that removes the value on Death Spite, right?
Yeah.
So, neither, like, basically, unless he death bites to the face, but then, yeah, that would do it. So he could trade with the 1/3, his 1/3 would stay alive, then he could death spite to the face, and that would
Well, the 1/3 would die to the death rattle of the death spite.
Right. You're right, it would then die.
Yeah. So he kind of, I mean, I guess the 4 damage to the face is nice, but he still loses his 1/3, which has provided him with a little bit more protection. Both these players take definitely a good amount of time.
Yeah, which is great when you can see
turn.
both decks and you can sort of theory craft, if you will. But at this point, we're just kind of sitting.
Unable to see Kisstafer's card.
Oh, wait a second. And on that note, look at this. So, we are in business. Kisstafer's stream is up.
Oh, he's got a KT. That's interesting.
Kel'Thuzad in the house. Also a Sunwalker. You've got your Axe, and you've got your Sylvanas. Yeah, this deck is definitely running Kel'Thuzad, Gromish, and Ragnaros, so it's got some big late game stuff. Okay, so he sort of uses the weapon and doesn't get value on the Death Rattle, or gets hurt a little bit by the Death Rattle, but I think that's fine. 2 taunts down are nice. So the question is, does he have a way to get rid of this high main? Which he doesn't, but he certainly can play more taunts. Right? Oh, he got an execute, so I changed my mind.
Definitely works.
Sylvanas.
That's not a bad idea either. You could end up taking one of the...
he can Sylvanas. He can kill his 1/2, and then the 1 damage will go on the Sylvanas. He can execute the Sylvanas and take the high main.
You can't execute your own minion, though.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Artosis trying to do that. That's right. That's right.
Artosis mode all over again.
That's right. That's right.
That's
I totally
the first
forgot.
thing that came to my mind was nope.
No, I totally forgot about that. That's right. Artosis, thank you.
You could definitely shield slam your own minion, but I mean, actually, that probably isn't a bad idea either if you're able to get up enough mana with shield block or something. Because there isn't too much you're going to want to shield slam on the hunter's side, or you're going to need to shield slam on the hunter's side.
High main unleash, pretty solid, but it's a question of what he draws into here, right? I mean, you're really hoping to get a hunter's mark. You've got your kill command, but you're not going to get to play it. Let's see what he draws into here. Houndmaster, not the worst card, but he can't play it yet. Another high main that's really not very good right now. Clogging
No,
up
he
his
really
head.
needs the hunters.
Got it. Okay, so I'm thinking you get rid of the 3/5 here, right?
Well, you have to be careful with what he's going to hit with Sylvanas next turn. But I'd say, yeah, you probably definitely get rid of the 3/5 before anything else. You're going to lose everything except for the high main to the Death Rattle on the Unstable Ghoul.
So... Yep, and now you use that to kill...
Well,
and now the 1/1. I like that. And it looks like it didn't get in. No, it didn't get in. It didn't get in.
Oh,
the high main didn't get into Sylvanas. Wow. Oh, we're offline again. Son of a... Damn it, Kisstafer. What's wrong with this stream? Alright. We'll see if we can get him back again.
With the Death Rattle, though, will Sylvanas die before taking anything?
So the minion that's played first, Death Rattle, happens first. So Sylvanas was played first, right? Or was the high main played first?
No, the high main was played first,
so
but
there you go. So
he's going to get
one.
another Sylvanas off that KT.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so brutal, Kel'Thuzad, man, making an impact on day 2 of being out in NA. Wow. Look at that. That's a hell of a combo. Wow. Wow.
And he doesn't have another Hunter's Mark to be able to deal with either the new Sylvanas or the KT.
Yeah. So yeah, so had Sylvanas been played after, it wouldn't have taken either of those, but still, he'd still get another Sylvanas, so it's not bad. Hunter's Mark. I mean, Hunter's Mark. Houndmaster.
Either way, he's taking a lot of damage to the face, whether or not he's got a good board.
No, that was actually an interesting point, because as he made that really nice play, he's at 11. So I think now that he's got a strong board, I think it's time to start trading and allow yourself to heal up. I think he should spend all of his mana that he can possibly to protect himself for at least 5 to 7 health, if you can. So
yeah, well, I mean, if he doesn't deal with at least 2 of these minions, I think he's actually might be dead.
Well,
next turn.
Kel'Thuzad can get rid of the 4/3. Sylvanas can get rid of the 4/4. Uh-oh. They're talking about the fact that Kisstafer stream's having a problem.
Okay.
Man, we need him to get some good internet.
I mean, unless he has a shield block or something, he might just be dead next turn with the Leroy and the kill command with what he has on the board right now.
Yeah. So I do have to, as soon as this game is over, or as soon as this series is over, I do need to hide Gaara's stream. I think there's potentially some technical stuff we need to work through. So he's cleared one. Shield slam, cleared the other. Okay. Really nice. Really nice. Wow. Down to 10 health.
A lot of damage.
Yeah.
And he gets the minion back from KT.
Yep.
That's so strong.
I know. I mean, it's situational, right? You need to have minions on the board and then play it down,
you definitely
but
need to have a good board for it.
yeah. But Sylvanas is a good board. So here we go. 6, 7. Yep. And then hero power, right?
Power for lethal, yep.
That is exact lethal. And Gaara is going to take this 3-0, and on that, finish it. Come on.
Okay?
Come on. Let's see it. We know it's going to happen.
The BM.
Oh my goodness. No, there's definitely stream-related things going on here. It's crazy. Come on. You know you want to do it. There it is. Booyah! Alright, Yahtzee. That's a 3-0. I'm going to take this stream down really quickly. Just go to our next up, which will be Gaara versus WhtPwdr, and we're gonna get that set up right now. We're getting into our games. Alright guys, let's switch it over here to the mulligan, and we've got Gaara on the bottom and WhtPwdr on the top, and I'm going to see if the swapped view works, because if we swap views, we're gonna have we're gonna get to see this in English, which might be fun, but that would mean we'd be looking at it from WhtPwdr's perspective. So let's see how it goes. Hunter versus Hunter. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna watch from WhtPwdr's perspective. I like this. And in fact, looks like Gaara is about 10 seconds behind here. So I do prefer watching the more current stream. Let's go to the mulligans here. In the mulligan, though, Gaara will be on the bottom. Powder will be on the top, because that's just the way the mulligan screen is set up. And as you can see here, Gaara is taking a little bit longer. He's just a little behind. Let's see if I can speed that up. So, yeah, you got to get rid of Leroy. Freezing Trap versus Hunter. Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? You want a quicker start here, right?
Well, it's helpful to keep that for later on when you really need it against the Leroy or...
Undertaker. I like it. I like it. Alright. WhtPwdr's got the little Undertaker here. So, we got the Savannah High Main. I mean, the, sorry. Yeah, Savannah High Main. Not the Savannah High Main. The, oh my god.
Spectral Spiders or Haunted Creeper?
No. The, oh my god. Scavenging Hyena. There it is.
Oh, I thought you were referring to the Undertaker and WhtPwdr.
Yeah. So we got the Hyena here, Animal Companion, Kill Command, and... Alright. Alright, not bad. Freezing Trap as well. So let's go to the swapped screens here. So this is from WhtPwdr's perspective, and WhtPwdr's on the bottom, and our winner of game 1, the best of 5, Gaara, is on top. And the Undertaker comes out, which is pretty nice. If he gets anything,
considering he hasn't drawn any of his death rattles yet.
I know he could draw into it though this turn, and there's not really anything to deal with this right now.
Well, there isn't really. I don't think there's a huge need to deal with it right away. Right. I mean, I guess you don't really know if he has anything in his hand to buff it, but a 1/2 isn't super scary right now.
Yeah, true. But I think when you see that played, he doesn't know what we know. Yeah. You know. Gaara doesn't know what we know, which is that there's no Death Rattle minion coming out to buff. I think you have to assume there is. I mean, it's a great card to play without it. It's fine, 1 mana, 1/2. But when I'm typically playing, I'm assuming they have it. so that I know how to deal with it.
It's also not super scary. I mean, he has the freezing trap in his hand too.
Right. True. If it becomes a problem, you can just freezing trap.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do it this turn.
Or just play it right away.
Yeah, and I think he's doing that based on what I was saying, which is that he has to assume there's something with a death rattle, and drawing into a leper gnome is exactly what we're talking about. Yep. So, drawing. Oh, let me fix the. Let me fix this real quick here. You want to talk about this? I'm just gonna fix the overlay real quick here.
Yeah, sure. I think he just obviously run the Undertaker into the freezing trap. I guess the other situation would be if it was an explosive trap and not a freezing trap. That would have been a little bit more unfortunate. In this case, at least the WhtPwdr gets to keep his Undertaker, even if it's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that you drop the Leper Gnome, just save it, maybe, to buff the Undertaker, and just hero power, possibly. Leper Gnome's pretty easy to take care of.
So these, it's a little bit, we're cut off a little bit on the bottom of that, but we'll just get as much as we can of the mana. Live broadcasting, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happens.
And the Haunted Creeper coming out from Gaara. You definitely go for the face after getting the buff from the Leok.
Alright, I'm almost done.
I'd say right now WhtPwdr's hand is a little bit better than Gaara's. Although that might have just changed with the getting the Hunter's mark.
Alright, that's
the best. The Undertaker stuck at that higher mana cost is pretty unfortunate too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's the best we can do on the overlay. I can maybe tweak it a little bit more, but...
Looks about the same on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Both players have a similar issue. Alright. So, and we have another Undertaker coming down. And it's Gaara's turn to respond. Web Spinner's not bad. Scavenging Hyena's not bad either. What do you think? I would think. I'm thinking Scavenging Hyena and trade.
I would go with the Animal Companion. Gives you a little bit more on your board, and it can't be traded with the Undertaker right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a beefier card. Gives you more presence. I was thinking that the Web Spinner would draw you into something. But he's going to play it anyway because he's got 4 mana. So, yeah, that's certainly a better play. Certainly a better play.
It as well.
Yeah. Alright, that looks like he's getting kill commanded. Yeah. Why not, right? You got to get rid of that 4-2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to just drop the Web Spinner there. It trades easily with each other. He doesn't have the kill command either to fight off the high main. Might have to freezing trap. I don't know if I agree with the high main play. Might have been a little bit better to get out the freezing trap to send the Savannah or the Scavenging Hyena back.
I wonder.
Sorry, I'm in fix the overlay mode, just sorting that out. I noticed the main game screen was kind of a little messed up. So, all right. What was that you were saying?
I don't know how I feel about the Savannah high main play from WhtPwdr. Got rid of a Hunter's Mark as well, so that's good.
Yeah.
I like that Gaara got a Manixia from his Web Spinner.
Oh
well.
Yeah, look at that. Nax coming into play, but not as a card that's been put in the deck, but through the web spinner. It's very fitting.
Might have to freezing trap here, or
that's a beast, right? You can animal companion that.
Yeah,
animal companion. You can. Yeah.
Or not animal companion.
Yeah.
Houndmaster.
Houndmaster. Yeah. Exactly.
I think you just go with.
Ooh, love the flare. Bye bye, secret. That's brutal. I really wish all classes had access to the ability to remove secrets.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that, well, I guess other than mage, you know, I mean, I guess paladin too, but hunter's kind of the main class that you think of when you think of as like secrets, and it's also the only one that has the ability to remove them too.
I know.
I think that was actually something that was discussed recently with some of the Hearthstone Blizzard workers as well.
Yeah, and you know, it's also that the weapon, the Stranglehorn, used to give a buff for any secret that's revealed, but thankfully they changed that when Axe came out or before.
Was recent. Yeah, recent change.
Alright, I mean, 2 high mains is pretty crazy, but Gaara only has 10 health, so I think he's got to be worried here.
Well,
I don't see the combo though.
No, and I mean, there
Ooh.
isn't a whole lot that he can. Maybe like a Houndmaster.
Yeah.
I mean, 612 damage to the face would have been nice if there wasn't stuff on the board already.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you might have to just pop one of the high mains and get rid of the other hyena on the other side. And just leave the 1 damage with the spider. Too much on the board, though, is going to result in a scary Leroy as well.
yeah. This is really tricky with 10 health. You're right. You really need to figure out, I mean, exactly how you want to deal with this. If you pop the Spectral Spider, you're leaving him with more stuff. If you pop your high main, you're leaving yourself. And, you know, he doesn't know what we know, that there's no Unleash at the moment. And no Buzzard to get Unleash.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't kill both of the hyenas, there's lethal in hand.
Yeah, he's got lethal on the board right now. Yeah, with the hero power on the weapon, there's lethal at the moment. So he needs to kill that stuff for sure. He's gonna go for it. I like it. Well, now a kill command would be lethal. Okay, no good. He trades. Okay.
I
so
think.
He's...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow.
That's so many hounds.
Wow. Wow. GG. And WhtPwdr takes game 1. That was a very quick ending. Oh my god. So we're watching this from WhtPwdr's perspective. Alright guys, going to game number 2 of the best of 7. WhtPwdr takes a quick lead and has dispatched of Gaara's Hunter. Which is a big deal. Gaara's Hunter has not lost a game yet tonight.
Yep. But it'll be interesting to see what else he comes out with now that he doesn't have the Hunter to
Yeah, I mean, Gaara's got some options, and I will tell you, without specifically saying what they are, they're nice. They're nice. He's got some good options, and okay, he's gonna go with his warrior. So this is Gaara's warrior, and it's similar to the other warriors we were talking about. But it does have, let's see, this has your acolytes in it. So it's got a little bit more of that early game. It's got your shield masters or your shield maidens or your, yeah. So let's go to.
Well, you have to think about the fact that Gaara also has Kit Kats on his team as well, who's pretty much known as being the warrior master. So.
Yep, Frothing Berserker here, keeping that, maybe a shield slam, the acolyte for sure. and just keeping the hyena. What do you think about keeping the hyena?
I mean, I guess it's a good thing to keep, considering it's pretty much the only late game that he really has in his deck.
Right.
And going against a warrior, if you don't end the game fairly quickly and get past all their armor, you're going to be in trouble.
Right. Alright. Leper Gnome coming down.
I would have maybe kept the execute over the shield slam.
I don't know. I see what you're saying, but if you can, you want to use your shield slam first. You want to armor up and use your shield slam early. Yeah. But I see what you're saying though. It's safer, right? Because you can almost always execute something. I mean,
well, especially against a hunter, if you're put in a situation where you're not able to keep as much armor on the board, or you're not able to draw your shield blocks, your shield slam's going to be a little bit not so great.
So yeah, so WhtPwdr comes out with the Mad Scientist here, and Naxx is abound, man. As this last wing of Naxx is finally released, we've seen so many amazing cards over the weeks, and so many amazing decks over the weeks, but now it's fully out, and we can see it in all of its beauty and glory, with secrets that are free, and minions with crazy death rattles, and minions that get buffed by minions with crazy death rattles. So I think it's going to be a great month for Hearthstone as people develop and have fun with all this new stuff that Blizzard has given us to play with. So thank you very much, Blizzard.
Yeah, it's been really fun. The adventure mode has been interesting with all the heroics. It's good that he's finally able to get some armor up.
Yep. I missed that secret. Did you see what that was?
I didn't yet. When a secret goes up through the Mad Scientist, you don't see it pop up like you would a normal secret. You have to actually mouse over it in order to see what it was.
And he didn't mouse over it yet? Okay.
He might have, I just didn't catch it right away.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Alright, I like that. Shield Slam. See, this is where I do like the Shield Slam. Now, that minion could not have been executed. He had no way to do it. So, again, that's my personal preference when playing Control Warrior, is to keep the Shield Slams early. Especially if you get a shield block or, you know, a variety of really nice cards that enable it for you.
This looks like that was a freezing trap, by the way.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, the Armor Smith also he doesn't have, which you really want that early, so that's kind of not ideal, but he's got a pretty good curve. 3-4-4 or 3-3-4-4. Black Knight, okay.
Well,
coming down.
You can see that Black Knight probably being useful with the Houndmaster.
Not for a few turns though, and I think a Houndmaster would come down really quickly if he did get it.
So,
alright.
I don't think we're gonna see the Undertaker played for a few turns. I think turn 6 would definitely be the high main, just to get it out there.
And here it is, guys. Fugan has been drawn. So, in case you didn't know, yes, in fact, this is a Fugan Stalag warrior. He's running a bunch of crazy stuff here, but Fugan and Stalag are definitely both in this deck. I didn't want to say it.
That'll be interesting if he manages to get that combination off.
Yeah.
I don't think that there would be any way, I mean, unless WhtPwdr is maybe running an owl or something, that he can get rid of the first one. Because it has to be the first one, right? The first one has to be silenced or hexed or...
No, it's the second one. So
it's the second one? Okay.
So if you silence the first one, it still died. The thing died. The second one, it has the death rattle, so you want to silence that death rattle that comes into effect. But if you like hex the first one or polymorph the first one, that removes any ability for that minion to have died. The second minion to come out to have had the first minion died.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just looking here. No.
The high main's a pretty good play here because at least you know it's not going to get gore howled or anything.
Yeah. How would you deal with this as WhtPwdr? I mean, as Gaara.
You need to get some armor going, for sure.
I did just draw... he just got the Sludge Belcher. I think that's your best bet here. This will prevent damage, which is as good.
Well, and the ability to drop the second taunt after the first one is killed will help him out a little bit.
And you know what? WhtPwdr really sees his opportunity. He's going to go for the tempo play, drop down Lothab, which I think is really smart, considering that a warrior usually has spells, although he doesn't have any at this point. But still, it's a 5/5, so that's pretty good. And he can use his weapon to clear if he wants to, the smaller minion. I don't know if he does, though.
It's a little bit more of a aggressive warrior from the cards that he has in his hand right now. He has a lot of earlier drops with the Frothing and the Acolyte and the Ron.
Yeah.
It's
And you
interesting.
you don't need card draw here. The Acolyte is way inferior to the Armor Smith in this matchup or this part of the game.
Well, and I mean, he doesn't really need that much card draw right now. If he draws too much, he's just going to overload his hand. So
yeah, which you can see now, he doesn't really have a fantastic play. The Corcoran Elite could come down, and potentially the 3-drop with the that gets buffed when he takes damage. Oh my goodness, Frothing Berserker. There it is. But you're only
I couldn't tell if you were talking about the Frothing or the
Acolyte. Yeah, so I mean, you could bring down the Frothing and you could bring down the Corcoran, but the problem is that you're only getting rid of one of these minions. So it looks like he's gonna go face. He was kind of, I guess, testing the secret there, so now he knows what the secret is. And he's also done 1 damage, so he can get rid of the High Main, right? He can get rid of the High Main now. And the Corcoran can get rid of the 5/4 Lothab. That's actually really good. You'll be left with two 2s on board, but that's better. What's that?
Gaara's at 8 health right now.
Yeah.
So even if he gets rid of everything that's on the board right now, it's still lethal.
And he's not going to be able to because of the freezing trap. So that's going to be it. Yep. All right. So unfortunately, the warrior is a little too slow to deal with the hunter, and our DKMR Pro WhtPwdr is taking a 2-0 lead here. Nicely done. So I think Gaara's in a tough spot. He picked the best deck he thought he had to deal with that, and it didn't work out very well.
I think something maybe with more heal, like if you're running a Druid that has a healing touch or a power the heals in it, might help him get to the late game that he needs to get to.
Yep. And again, in this mulligan, guys, Gaara's on the bottom, WhtPwdr is on the top, so just please bear that in mind.
It's WhtPwdr's decks there, these interesting deck names.
Yeah. Alright,
So you did go with the Druid.
And I think that's a smart play here. This Druid has got some interesting things. It's a pretty standard Druid.
It's got a Starfall in his Druid.
He does have a Starfall. Sunwalker. It's got Kel'Thuzad in it. Yeah. Oh wait, excuse me. Excuse me, this is Gaara. My mistake. And it is, as I said, a Starfall, some Yetis. Does it have the double combo? I'm curious.
I can't see a double combo. I can see maybe like 1 Force Roar combo.
No, it's not running any parts of the combo.
But he's running KT in this?
No, he's not. He's not. Yeah, he is. No, he is. He is. He is. Yes, he is.
Okay. So maybe just relying on that with getting your minions out is probably what he's going for.
It's funny, Kel'Thuzad is spelled the same in German as English.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, it's so crazy looking at these decks in German.
Well, to be a name, right? So it's more.
No, I know that was kind of what I was alluding to.
Oh, okay.
Harrison Jones is the same in German and English, but I guess it could be like, you could do a German version of Jones. Herr Jones, Herr Harrison Jones. Okay. Well
played.
All right.
It's good that he got his wild growth.
Yes, that's pretty sweet.
It's so painful when you're playing Druid and you get your wild growth in turn 9 and 10.
I know. Especially when you need to ramp up. You need that extra mana. It's what makes Druid so able to adapt. Is having a little bit of extra mana, a slightly better curve, and then bringing out those big minions. But this board is ferocious.
Yeah, he definitely needs it to be turn 5 already for sure.
Yeah. Oh my god. And the problem is that the Undertaker is just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I think it'll probably stop at 2-3 for a little while. Just because looking at WhtPwdr's hand, he's not going to be able to play another Death Rattle until 6.
Yeah. And there comes down the Starfall, right? Really critical in this particular hand. Explosive Trap dropping down. And more damage. And this Druid's at 12. God. Man. This Hunter. The Hunters are just so relentless, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, look at his hand, too. Like, all he has in his hand is just, like, even late game.
Yeah.
He has the 2 high mains, a Hunter's Mark, and a kill command.
Yeah. And you gotta feel like armoring up every turn's important, but at the same time, yeah, he can coin a Lotheb. I mean, coin a Ooze, not a Ooze, a Belcher. I'm like throwing down every name. Lotheb, Ooze, Belcher, High Main, Kel'Thuzad. Throw him down! Yeah, I think the Ooze is a good... I mean, I can't even do it. I can't even say it! I think the Belcher is the right play.
He's on 7 mana now, right? So...
He will be on 7 mana,
yes. He can even throw down another taunt.
Yes. I would consider healing up at 11 now. I would really consider that. He can heal up. He doesn't need cards here.
Yeah. I mean, even if he threw down a Yeti and a Mark of the Wild, that's another taunt that the...
Right. But remember, that can be Hunter's marked. And you know this Hunter only wants to go face. I really prefer getting a little extra health and getting a 5/5 minion on board. And then next turn you can Mark of the Wild that. But, you know, this is a very tricky play here. And I always go for the safer play. Especially when I'm watching a Hunter, like, just rampage through decks. I really feel like you need to slow him down.
But the healing is definitely on curve as well this turn as well.
Yeah,
so.
and it doesn't deal with the high main. It really doesn't deal with the high main. Okay, whatever that is said in German, he's gonna heal for 5, and he's not gonna attack. Really smart. So I think the idea here is, if on chance that's a freezing trap, which it's not, I lose my minion, and that's really bad news. So I think...
Yeah, well, if it had been a freezing trap, that would have just been really, really bad for Gaara.
It's almost game. It's almost game ending. And it looks like we're going to have potentially another high main. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I know Lions like to like move around in packs and have their little cubs out. But really, I mean, the high mains are not messing around this event. We've had multiple high mains on board from players like at least in 2 or 3 games.
I think he would probably be better drawing a Keeper of the Grove or something to get the silence off on it.
Yeah, that would be really sweet. Although he can Black Knight here. He can Mark of the Wild Black Knight to get rid of one of the 6/5s. And then he can get rid of the other 6 too. So there are options here.
I think that Mark of the Wild is so needed though in this matchup.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Losing the ability to taunt something against the Hunter, I think that's too valuable to just throw away like that.
I think you're right, actually. Now that I'm hearing you say that, it's a really tricky spot. 8 mana, so you can double Yeti, which isn't ideal. You can mark the 5/5, which will keep it alive, right? And then you'd obviously attack. I mean, you don't need to worry about it. So I think you mark the 5/5 here so that it doesn't die. Or you mark the 1/2, and that lets you kill the first high main. There's just so many things that are coming on the board. So he's gonna... Okay, actually he's gonna mark in... He's gonna use the mark, but he's gonna big game instead of Black Knight because it allows him to attack with face. My goodness. So, you know, you're right though. He has given up his ability to taunt at 11 health. So, I think that's a desperation move. I hear what you're saying, and I don't think you're wrong. But with 5 plus the yeah, that's it. Oh my god! Wow, that was fast. That was fast. Oh, okay, Shade. What are we getting a 4-0 here? This is like really going very quickly.
I don't know. This Hunter is scary. I mean, if you think about it, both Hunters in both rounds are scary.
I know.
White Powder with his hunter and Gaara 3-0 with his hunter.
And the last deck, since there's no other choice, I can tell you, is a Paladin with a lot of good stuff in there. So hopefully this Paladin can give us a good series here. And for those of you curious, what is this hunter and what was the last hunter that have been rampaging this tournament? Hearth 2P will have all the deck lists up either tonight or first thing tomorrow. And also, this video will be up on DKMR's channel, which you can check out, and there will be links in that channel to the articles.
I think it's always been the day after every time I've looked. With,
and as we jump into the mulligan, stay tuned after this match for a interview with the winner. And if Gaara loses, we're also going to try to have an interview with Gaara. So please stay around, and we're going to hear from him if we can. So, yeah. What do you think here?
I think you get rid of everything on... Maybe hold on to the taunt, but yeah. You just kind of got to get everything off. The earlier cards from the Paladin side. That was the slowest mulligan I've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay, so this Paladin currently looks like Holy Light, Consecration, and either Fugan or Stalag. I'm not sure which one that is. And then a weapon. A Fugan, okay. Okay, early Flare. Nothing wrong with that.
That's a decent hand for Paladin to have against a Hunter right now.
Are the Hunters not running...
abilities to heal.
Yeah.
And some board clear, so...
Are Hunters not running tracking anymore? No?
We did see tracking earlier from Kisstafer's Hunter, I believe.
There's no tracking in this...
That was the only tracking I saw.
Wow. Let's see, WhtPwdr is not running tracking. And, I wonder, was Gaara running tracking?
I didn't see a tracking from Gaara either.
No tracking. Wow. Okay, so it looks like the tracking has been phased out on the stronger Hunter decks tonight.
Well, I think losing the 2 cards when you need a strong hand is kind of
brutal.
A hard mechanic to deal with.
You've got the Flare to dig a little, and you got the Buzzard. It's interesting. Okay, bringing down another recruit.
Making dudes.
Yep. It's pretty standard, but you're going to need... Okay, I like the trade here. You're hoping that he doesn't have another Death Rattle minion so that you will be able to use your Consecrate shortly.
Even if he takes a little bit more damage from a Huffer or something like that this turn, it's the best option for him to go up against with the Consecrate coming up.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Well, he's at 30, right? If he was at 22... I think we might be seeing something a little different.
I wonder.
I think the Animal Companion's probably the only play that you really have here.
Yeah.
The 1/1 on the board, I don't really know what else you would do. I'd be surprised to see a Flare come out. You don't really know what kind of Paladin this is, and they just had a new card come out with secrets, so...
And you know, he traded with the dude, and the True Silver comes out. I don't know if I would have traded with the dude. I guess Hunter has a lot of ways to buff their dudes, so that it makes sense to me. But, yeah, okay. I guess it's probably worth the 1 damage. Here's another Flare. Explosive Trap, uses...
Well, I mean, the 1 damage doesn't really make a difference when it comes to that Spider, the Haunted Creeper anyways, because if it's gonna get killed with a Consecrate, it's not going to matter whether it's 1 or 2 health.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more just getting the pressure on the face here, but yeah, I don't think the 1 health is that meaningful. Getting something like that taunted up or buffed with Blessing of Kings is a much bigger deal. I think it makes sense. I was just kind of talking it through.
I'd be a little weary to play the Undertaker this turn. That's a pretty valuable Consecrate.
That is a really good Consecrate.
You can prop the spiders with your weapon and then just clear the entire...
Oh my god, that is a money Consecrate. I think you gotta do it. I think you really gotta do it here. Yeah, absolutely. You're basically you're getting 3 healing, and you're clearing the board.
Well,
Yep.
and you're also getting off 2 damage to the actual hunter as well.
Right. And the other thing is, though, that right now these minions are 2/2. You don't know that they can't be buffed, but there's a lot of opportunity for them to be buffed, and waiting for that is a bad idea. So I think...
We also have to assume that coming up on turn 6, you're going to see a high main, especially from having versed this hunter 3 times already.
Yeah, you're right.
You know it's coming out.
You're right.
So getting rid of the Undertakers is pretty important.
It's high main season. Okay, so this is a really good play. Gaara is exactly on point here, and I like it. High main's a lot less scary, right, when he's alone than when he's got a pack of other stuff out there. Another high main.
Double high main.
I'm telling you. It's like high main season here on the DKMR Invitational. Alright.
And even though Gaara's done a good job of being able to keep the board fairly clear, he still lost 10 health already.
Yeah, actually that was turn
5,
5, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have played the high main on that one. I'm assuming you already figured that out. But just for any out there who are confused, we were thinking it would be turn 6 after that. Alright, high main in effect. So there is an equality and spells, not a quality consecrate, but there is a humility. So actually there are quite a few ways to deal with this. Okay, the dude goes down, which is fine. The dude abides, no big deal. I like humility here, actually. I really like it. Okay, WhtPwdr. Gaara agrees. Fugan.
Fugan comes out as well.
Do you? Yeah. I think I like that. Okay, another high main. It's high main season and a leper gnome. You know, if this Paladin didn't have that consecrate, this game would already be over.
Yeah,
right
definitely.
So it was still a good play on WhtPwdr's part. Now, how do you deal with 2 high mains? Draws an acolyte. You've got 2 pyros, so that could be 2 damage. So if you can kill... Yeah, if you can kill that high main, you could double pyro and wipe all the little mains.
And the Holy Light is definitely a good choice right now too. You've lost quite a bit of health. You're down 12 right now. He's at 18, right?
Yep. Okay, so I think he attacks with the 4 minion into the 5 health, uses the Elven Archer to kill it, uses the Senjin to kill the 1/2, and then he double pyro. It's pretty crazy, but I think that's doable. You're getting rid of 7 minions.
Do you also kill off your Fugan as well? With that?
Probably. Who cares?
So,
who cares?
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing either if you're able to draw your second style egg.
Yep. Do it. Elven Archer, baby. Elven Archer. Okay, he's gonna pyro first. Oh, he's gonna bring it down. Okay, so he's gonna get rid of one of them. Interesting.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I guess the second one isn't a huge threat right now, anyways. So.
Yeah, but that would have been a 7 minion clear. All right. Well, I like the other play better, but that's fine. He's protecting the second pyromancer.
And he keeps it taunt up for 1 more turn as well.
Yep. No, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. And a 1/1's not that scary, but he will have to, in a future turn, deal with 2 additional baby mains. What are those? Are they hyenas?
Yeah.
It's like Lion King? Is it Lion King time? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And just like that, the board is almost completely cleared.
I'm not sure why he didn't fully clear the board before.
Okay, so we have an equality pyro here. So that's actually really good.
He doesn't full clear though. With the Savannah High main will pop, but leave 2 minions.
I know. That's why I was trying to get it cleared earlier. But I hear you. All right. So I think
he might actually just Guardian of the Kings.
Yeah, I think Guardian of Kings is good here. 15 health. Hold on. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think that's safe. I think a Guardian of Kings is safe here. You know, I really feel like having no pyros right now and a fully cleared board with the exception of that scientist, would be a lot better.
Yeah, well, in hindsight, you kind of have to realize that, but
It's all good.
not too much that he can do about it now, I guess.
I don't think I'd lay on hands here. I do prefer the Guardian of Kings. I think you don't need the cards as badly as you need a minion to start trading. And, you know, if anything's scary... What's up?
It's a beefy minion, too.
Okay, so he's going to lay on hands. Alright.
It's a lot of board presence for...
I guess a Hunter's Mark would have removed that minion, potentially, and we can see it in the hand, so... It's less risky in that regard, and I can see that. I can understand that. Alright.
It's kind of negated aside from the card draw, though, so that's a little bit.
Okay, so you've got True Silver now. You can clear the high main and use a quality Consecrate to get rid of everything. I think that's got to be it. I mean, Pyro, a quality Pyro.
Trap will be the trap that goes up, right? We've already seen 2 explosive traps.
Yes.
So killing off the mad scientist should bring up a freezing trap.
Yeah. It should be a freezing trap. We'll take a look in just a second.
Yep, freezing trap.
He almost touched a freezing trap and was like, no. I wish we could have. I wanted to hear that in German. Wish we could have heard that in German. 9.
Kill command here to get the extra damage off, or do you wait until after he's healed again?
I wait, because there might be something you need to get rid of, and the kill command will help you with that.
Is there a Tyrion in the Paladin deck?
That's Gaara, right? Tyrion in our Paladin. No. Actually. Yes,
So,
yes. Okay.
I was gonna say it would have been the KT instead of the Tyrion.
Yeah. No, I really don't see you taking out Tyrion.
To pull off, though.
Yeah.
To be able to get your KT out long enough to have your Tyrion out as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, I feel like you don't have both of those going at the same time. I feel like it's one or the other. Okay. I gotta think Guardian of Kings here, right? You're at 13 health.
It's an expensive dude now.
Much better than having the Guardian come back for 10, right?
Yeah.
Or for 9. Alright. Okay, I like the Guardian here. No, it's gonna get Hunter's marked, but, I think if it didn't have Hunter's Mark, you're more likely to draw into it as the game goes on, so it's better to play the minion early. I used to think the opposite. Save it so that you can have them Hunter's Mark something else. Because I've watched a lot of tournaments and pro players, I've been learning that you have to take the risk that they don't have it instead of giving them more turns to draw into it. But in this case, it's something else is going to get Hunter's Mark. So this is that case where Hunter's Mark is being used on a weaker minion. So
It's an unfortunate draw to get from your web spinner.
yeah.
It's not what you want to see.
Silverback Patriarch, is that?
Yeah.
Ah! Alright. All the beasts are
When
out.
all else fails and you have no health left and it's your only minion.
Oh, look at that, a Spellbreaker. So we can actually silence this and prevent another trap. Which he knows all 3 of the 4 traps are out. So basically...
And it's good that both of the high mains are gone now too, so he doesn't have to worry about silencing.
And actually it won't matter though, because the freezing trap's in his hand, so it actually won't have an impact. I like the Guardian of Kings here. I really do. Karn's really good as well. Is it Guardian and Dude?
I wonder.
You're at 11 health. I think it's got to be Guardian and Dude.
So I think he's just assuming that the secret's already in his hand.
Yep.
Reporting for duty.
Making more dudes.
Yep. I think a 2-cost Dude's better than a 3-cost Dude.
So math would say.
So math would say. Okay, the last secret's down, and actually that's not going to be too hard to proc with a Dude.
I think you attack Lotheb, and you get your Lotheb back to play again.
So that'll
it's gonna
be
make it more expensive,
8.
but I'd rather.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
I like
gonna
it.
stop another Unleash the Hounds combo, so I think you're better off just attacking with the Loatheb and getting it back again.
I don't know. It's a lot of damage. It's interesting. I like the thinking on it that you'll be able to prevent an additional turn, but
He has enough in his hand, I think, at this point. You have card advantage.
oh, I like this. Same idea, but more importantly than preventing him is
Heal back.
get yourself more healing. I like this better. It's kind of like taking your strategy, but to a different place.
I just think he has enough in his hand right now. He doesn't have to be extremely worried.
God, anytime you're below 15 with a hunter, I really feel like you should heal. I prefer this.
Yeah, but if you look
personally.
at WhtPwdr's hand, he's only got 2 cards right now.
Yes, but one of them could be Buzzard and the other could be Unleash.
Which you still don't die to, but...
No, but then you're in a really bad spot. I think this is a safer play. Loatheb prevents the Buzzard Unleash. This allows it. Interesting. Yeah, you might be right on that. You might be right. One of them prevents the Buzzard Unleash. The other prevents you dying from it. Well, I think this game is going to go to Gaara, right? Unless something pretty extraordinary happens.
Yeah, he'd have to draw... WhtPwdr would have to draw something pretty...
Would you play Kel'Thuzad? I'd play Karn, actually, if anything.
The more fun play is KT. The better play for your board might be...
You could equality your own board and then play KT and have your Loatheb run into something and you get it back. That's a more fun play.
You have to just don't mess it up with the quality after you KT.
I mean, it's pretty brutal to equality your own minions for something silly like that. I'm just joking, obviously. People in chat. Kel'Thuzad. Okay. So he's saying, I don't care what you do. I'm getting my dudes back. But the Guardian of King and the Loatheb will come back too. In all seriousness.
I mean, if you don't see an Unleash the Hounds at this point, it's probably not in the hand. There's 4 minions on the board.
It looks like he's going to kill command, right? Or not?
No, I don't think so.
He's giving up. That's GG. All right. Yeah. Okay, so Gaara takes a game, and this will not be a 4-0. It is now 3-1, and we're gonna get to see another WhtPwdr deck. WhtPwdr is strong, though. The powder is strong with this one. All right. As we get in,
this is the only thing left, right? The Paladin is the only thing left for Gaara. So
yes, it's all Paladin all night for Gaara, but it's a good deck. I mean, we're seeing a real resurgence.
All of it either. I mean, WhtPwdr didn't really get to see all of it. We saw quite a bit of it in his hand. So.
Yeah. So WhtPwdr. Let's see what he's gonna go with here. Miracle, huh? All right. I've seen Miracle do things. I've seen it win some games. Okay, we're into the mulligans. The best of match score is wrong on the mulligan screen, so please forgive that. It'll be correct as soon as we jump out of the mulligans. But it's always incorrect on this screen. It's something I haven't fixed and can't fix at the moment because we're in the middle of some stuff. But yeah, I think you got to get rid of all that. You do not want any of that. And let's see what Gaara gets. I like everything but the lay on hands. Gadgetzan, I think that's pretty good. Oh, he gets rid of the Elven Archer.
Yeah,
huh?
I don't think you keep the Elven Archer. You don't have equality in your hand. I think that's
okay.
Pretty standard.
Let's get to the swap here. Oops, there we go. And yeah, it is 3-1. WhtPwdr is leading Gaara in this best of 7, and WhtPwdr is hoping to protect that DKMR pot of gold. The pot of gold. But Gaara is already going to get $25 for taking out Kisstafer in the best of 5.
You have to be really careful in this matchup. If you end up bursting down the Paladin too much and rely on, you know, the last couple bits of damage, he's just going to heal it up. So.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. An early Van Cleef is actually a pretty nice start. I like that. It's not gigantic, but it gives you some presence, and it's kind of hard to deal with. On turn 3, he can't get out the True Silver yet.
Yes, but he can get out one of the Aldors that he has at the end.
Which does help.
2 of them. Yeah.
You must follow the rules. But I mean...
Now it becomes a very sad bank.
It's going to do a lot of trading. But yeah, you're right. He's quite a bit sadder. He doesn't like following the rules. He's such a badass.
Already a 4/4 Van Cleef became much more sad.
Yeah. Alright.
Not too scary either, so it's not something he really has to worry about later right now.
Really good start for Gaara here with this Paladin. If Gaara reverse all kills, that would be amazing, by the way. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think WhtPwdr is going to pull it out here, but not in this game per se, but in this best of 7.
I mean, it's a lot harder to win when you're 1-3 than to win when you're 3-1.
Yeah. So
even just, you know, for the sake of like the mind games that it pulls on you, being down 2 games.
Mm-hmm. Fugan. It's the Fugan time. Okay, I think that's pretty standard.
Turn 6, yeah.
Pretty standard. Well played. Well played. Alright. I like Karn. I really like it. That's pretty strong. And yes, you've got something that's sappable, but A, he doesn't have sap, and B... Oh wait, he does have sap. No, he doesn't. He has shiv. He's shiving to get a sap, I believe. He gets a preparation, and he gets a deadly poison, and now he's gonna prep, hope for something like a sap. A backstab's not bad.
I think you just Belcher to protect a little bit more from your face.
Maybe.
I can't see anything else. It also protects your gadget stand.
Yeah, he's still drawing. He's got so many low-cost spells, he can just keep drawing. Yeah, I like it. The Belcher's coming down. Pretty strong.
Is WhtPwdr running 1 gadget stand or 2?
Oh, I'm sure he's running 2. Yeah, he's running 2. His deck's called Sex on a Stick, so you gotta run 2 gadget stands. They're way too sexy. I mean, the Belcher's pretty sexy, and the Lothab's pretty sexy, but...
That's the second time we've seen the Belcher in a rogue, right?
Yeah, it's definitely made its way. That's the one thing Blizzard did amazingly well, of the many things, is they've made the Naxx cards so good that everyone's playing some version of them. If you make a whole new set of cards and they're not that good and nobody plays them, I'd call that a failure of a not an expansion, but of a release. And Blizzard has done really well, so. Okay. Oh, we got a sap. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm really feeling like this is GG really quickly. Holy crikey. Wow. Look at it. Look at that. Double Shadow Step Leroy. WhtPwdr, triple Leroy. Oh my god. Wow. Very well done, WhtPwdr, to finish off Gaara.
Considering how good Gaara's board was there.
I'm gonna see if I can get Gaara on the horn here, guys, real quick, like, so just bear with me here. Give me 1 second here. Okay, let's see. Let's give it a try. Let me add him to the call. Add to the call. My God, where are you? All right, let's add him.
That was so fast.
I'm gonna tell WhtPwdr we want to talk to him in a second. Hold on.
Sure.
Gaara? Let's see.
He said in Twitch chat he has to wait 8 minutes.
Ha!
He said he's ghosting.
Let's kill the in-game music. thanks everybody for watching. We're gonna have a couple quick interviews with Gaara and WhtPwdr. Talk about the night. Talk about the events. Talk about how it went. Gaara?
Yeah.
Hey, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can turn you up. Hold on one second here. All right, we're gonna have to turn you up a little bit here. Let's open up the mixer. Yeah, it looks like you're at max. Maybe you could just speak into your microphone a little bit more.
Yeah, I have to try to get some different speaking.
Oh man, yeah, I can't hear you at all.
I
Okay.
can't hear it all either.
Sorry, I have to whisper.
Oh wait, when you speak up, it's fine. Can you just speak up?
No. Well, I can try, I guess. But
Okay.
not-
All right. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming out to the tournament, and just kind of ask you briefly what you thought, what your thoughts were on the games, on the tournament format, any thoughts on it, and anything you want to say to anybody watching.
Thanks for inviting me. First of all, yeah, it was fun. Of course, it was. I'm really tired. It's quite the event for me.
Yeah.
So I prefer like tournaments at my time.
Uh-huh.
Well, the format is fine. It's just that I really like the Paladin format way more. Like I like to run classes like Miracle Rope.
Uh huh.
But besides that,
Yeah. So Gaara said to everyone who couldn't hear him, thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed the tournament. Unfortunately, I lost, but I had a good time and I enjoyed it. But I prefer tournaments with a ban style where you can ban a certain deck. Yeah. And any thoughts on the Hunter? You 3-0'd Kisstafer, and you got almost 4-0'd by WhtPwdr. What are your thoughts on the Hunter?
I think Hunter is broken right now.
Hunter's broken. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, what else?
That's it. Miracle is still broken, I guess.
Miracle's still broken. Hunter's more broken? Like
Hunter's more-
Miracle's broke, Hunter's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you think, what would you change in Hunter to make it less broken? I really want to hear from you, because you know these decks. You build great decks. Talk to me.
I think it's tough. Like all the cards that come out, like if you would nerf some cards, you can just replace them with other cards. Like
Yeah.
for example, the Mad Scientist is very strong in Hunter, but if it would be nerfed, for example, you just replace it with other good cards. Like,
Right.
there's just so many cards that can be played in Hunter right now. Like
Yeah.
wow, it's like very difficult to nerf Hunter.
So what's broken about it? The fact that it has low-cost minions, beast synergies, and can just keep hitting face?
Yeah, it has like a perfect curve.
Perfect
Like,
curve.
It has everything. It has burst damage. It like mid-range very strong. Board
Yeah.
control. If
Yeah.
the opponents overextend the board, you have like endless card draw. You have the best card removal in the game. With Hunter's Mark for 0 mana, you can basically kill anything.
Mm-hmm.
You have very annoying minions with the Hound Creepers. Web
Yeah.
Spinners like super RNG. You can get anything. It's just very very strong overall. Like it beats the. I think the main reason why Hunter is so strong, it has no real counter. It can beat every deck.
It has no real counter. So Gaara was saying, if you couldn't hear him, that Hunter has no real counter. If you take a few things out of the deck, there are plenty of things to put in place of it. If you make the Secret Keeper weaker, there's other things you can put in place of it. Ultimately, it's synergies. It's got no real counter. It's just incredibly overpowered. What are your thoughts about what is it? The card that lets you see 3 cards. It like lets you dig into your deck.
Track.
Tracking. What do you think about that coming out? What do you think about tracking come out of some of the Hunter decks?
I was talking about this in Gamescom. Like some people are cutting tracking.
Yeah.
I can agree with it because like you have a much better curve now with the small minions, and with Buzzard you will like always draw cards. But you will not have like like when you play against Zoo, you need to dig for Hounds, Buzzard, for example, or Timberwolf Hound.
Yeah.
And then you will not have the tracking available. It's a little bit risky against certain matchups, but in a tournament it's fine, I guess, because you don't want to discard cards with the tracking. It depends
Right.
what you play. If you play
Right.
ladder or tournaments.
So Gaara said, in case you couldn't hear that he agrees with people taking it out. Versus Zoo, it can be an issue because you can't dig, but generally you don't need to dig because your curve is so good. And he also said that in general in tournaments you're not worried about playing versus Zoo because you get to pick the decks you use. So what are your thoughts about Zoo versus Hunter? Do you think Zoo is a reasonable counter to Hunter?
a lot of people think that, but I guess that it depends on how you build your like hunter. If you have explosive traps in your deck, like with the secret keepers, I think it's even like also very easy to beat Zoo as hunter. Depends on the draws, but when you have trackings, like without trackings, it's a good counter. I think you can counter like the guys who don't play tracking.
Yeah. What about all the zoos that play all the Nax cards with death rattles? You know, you see a secret, you're pretty sure it's explosive trap, and you know, bring down a couple minions with death rattles so that you don't lose anything of value.
The thing is that it's with the new wing, which is very like recently released. It was like yesterday.
Yes.
With Echoing Ooze, Zoo got buffed again.
Yes.
It's a very, very strong card. Like, and I haven't seen it yet. So I think like Zoo might be like very, very strong right now. Just I haven't seen it yet.
What's the card that just came out that you think buffs Zoo even more?
Like Echoing Ooze. Maybe
Echoing Ooze? Okay.
Naxxramas can be played in Zoo.
So Gaara is saying that Echoing Ooze is a bigger, an additional buff to Zoo, so it might help versus Hunter. Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed watching your games. I love watching your deck building. I'd love to talk to you more about it at a future date if you're ever interested. Deck building in Hearthstone, I really appreciate. We had a great time having you on. There were some technical difficulties, which there always are, but ultimately there were some great games, and we got to see your first round of decks after the full Naxxramas release. I know all of us who watch your deck building with Shaman and with Druid are going to be eagerly watching your stream and your Twitter for new decks, so hopefully you'll have some new stuff for us.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, he said. Great. Thank you, Gaara. Really appreciate it. Shade, I was kind of translating, talking because it was quiet. I apologize. I'll let you do all the talking with our other guy. Do you have anything you want to ask him?
No, just I love watching Gaara's play and seeing his deck building and everything, so it was great having him on the show.
Great. Well, thank you, Gaara. We're gonna go on with WhtPwdr and talk to him. So I wanted to thank you again for coming on. And when we do another season of this, we'd love to have you on it. And we really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you, Gaara. We're gonna have on WhtPwdr, our winner. I did not forget about him, of course. Let's hang that up, and let's get on a little WhtPwdr. All right, Shade, this is all you. This is all you. WhtPwdr. All right, here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, WhtPwdr.
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good.
Great, that was awesome. You did really well there.
Yeah, thank you. I'm pretty satisfied right now.
Hunter was pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a deck that I've kind of synergized to beat some of the pretty strong decks right now, so it worked out better than I expected.
Doesn't really seem to have very many, I guess, counters or issues or weaknesses. Is there anything that you would have preferred to have not gone up against with that Hunter? Or did you feel like it kind of did everything that it was supposed to do?
I mean, it's very strong against most decks. Because I cut out some of the bigger threats, it does a little bit worse against heavy control decks. So I was actually a bit worried about the Warrior matchup as well as the Ram Druid matchup, but the Huffers carried me through.
Yeah, the Huffers are definitely very helpful, especially in the Druid matchup. I think it helped you push through the damage really well. As far as your Miracle Rogue, it seemed pretty standard. Was there anything that we didn't see come out of that other than the Sludge Belcher, obviously, that you had included in that deck?
No, it's pretty standard. I think the Sludge Belcher and Gnomish Inventor are the only two cards that are a bit out of the normal, but I guess Gnomish is pretty normal as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen a few decks with Gnomish in it as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. So WhtPwdr, you recently joined Team DKMR. You were originally on what was the other team name?
Second Wind.
Second Wind. And during the weekly roundups, me and D2 were watching you place very highly in tournament after tournament. You seem to be a very strong tournament player. You certainly showed that strength today, and also in being able to take first place in the in-house DKMR Invitational. How are you feeling your play is at this moment, and how you could improve?
I mean, I think my play is pretty strong. The meta fits me pretty well. I've always been a very good mid-range hunter player, especially when it was really, really strong. What is it, 2-3 seasons ago?
Yeah.
That's when I was winning most tournaments with just opening mid-range hunter every time and just face rolling all my opponents.
Yeah.
But I also have like 1,000 wins on the ladder with Miracle Rogue. So, I mean, I'm pretty versed in that as well.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts about joining DKMR? Has that been helpful for you, as a teammate or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's great to get to practice more and more with extremely good players. And I didn't have that chance before, and it's definitely helped me grow my play style and as well as my deck building.
One more quick question before I turn this back over to Shade. I'm sure she's got some good to ask. Do you agree with Gaara? Is Hunter broken? Completely broken?
Yeah, it is completely broken. I mean,
Broke! Wow.
a deck that can like, you can go face Hunter is still pretty strong, and it wrecks most good decks as well, and then just mid-range Hunter, which is really good against control. That's why everyone bans it in ban tournaments. It's just, it's so hard to know what's coming.
It used to be Miracle Rogue that you banned, now it's Hunter. Is there no counter to Hunter?
I mean, Miracle Rogue is very strong.
Yeah.
There are ways you can tech your decks to be good against Miracle, like I did.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Miracle is probably the best still.
The best against Hunter as well, you think?
What did you say?
Miracle's still the best against Hunter as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel like any of the Naxx changes, or some of the things that we haven't really seen yet, would be useful in kind of stopping the face ramming of the Hunter?
I mean, Sludge Belcher is a very good card against Hunter. And I mean, Sludge Belcher is being played in like almost every deck. Now you see it in Miracle Rogue. It's like, it's probably the best card against decks like Hunter and Miracle Rogue, but it's not enough right now. Because the meta's kind of shifted as well.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a deck that we've seen recently that hasn't had Sludge Belcher in it.
Yeah, I mean, Sludge Belcher is probably the best card that's come out. Maybe with Lotheb, but...
And what are your thoughts on the, you had asked Gaara about Echoing Ooze having recently come out. What are your thoughts on that?
I haven't actually played it in a single deck yet. I really haven't had time. I mean, it doesn't seem that strong to me.
Well, it can be cold-blooded, and that's pretty scary.
It's one of those cards that you have to combo it for it to be like actually viable. Like a 1/2/1/2, it's not that good.
Right.
It's still only 2 mana, but I don't know.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Oh, go ahead, Shade.
I was just gonna say, thoughts on maybe seeing it in a token Druid kind of deck with comboing it with Mark.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. The only problem with Echoing Ooze is it takes up a spot where something like Haunted Creeper, you don't have that much room to play really low minions because it's just gonna completely ruin your deck to control.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What are your thoughts on Kel'Thuzad? I mean, we've seen a few different decks playing it tonight. Is it something people are experimenting because it's fun, or do you think it's incredibly strong?
I actually think that card is broken.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they need to nerf it because you can just play it your turn and just trade all of your minions, and all of your minions come back to life.
What kind of a deck do you think we'll start seeing that in, if we do start seeing it at all?
Definitely Ram Druid.
Yeah. Oh,
it's probably the best with all the taunts.
Basically, the stronger your control, right, the better it is.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we saw Gaara running it in his Paladin. I also ran it in my Paladin, but you didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, in all control decks, I think it's going to be pretty strong.
Yeah.
As long as you have a space to fit it. Maybe Ragnaros, we'll see. The end of his reign.
It can't be big gamed either, right? So that's
exactly.
There's not too many high cost, late game cards that cannot be taken care of with a big game hunter. So
Exactly.
So you're going to be our best of 7 defender for the next week at least, if not weeks to come. We had Brad in there for 5 or 6 weeks. We had Hosty in there for a few weeks. You're carrying a torch and protecting some cash for your team. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty nervous going into the game today. I mean, it's my first game, actually, like many viewers on stream, so kind of wanted to make DKMR proud, and I think I did that today. I'll probably be a bit more chill next week, and hopefully I can continue this for many weeks to come.
Yeah, Shade, remember that play? Who was it, Gaara, or was it who was it that could have traded the double? It was Gaara could have traded, right? So
yeah,
WhtPwdr.
He was doing Paladin versus Hunter.
It was Paladin versus Hunter, right? Yeah, and Gaara could have used 2 wild pyromancers and cleared both your high mains and all the little mains or all the hyenas. He could have cleared your entire board. It would have cost him 2 wild pyromancers. What do you think about that?
I think the way that he did it was pretty bad. If he could have cleared it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if I would have drawn any damage, like 2 turns after that, I would have won the game. Like you saw, I was actually really close to having lethal in the end. His hand was extremely bad, which I just managed to catch the last end of it.
Yeah.
And if like I said, if I drew Buzzard or if I drew some damage, I would have won the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would have to watch it again to say for sure. But if he could have cleared it, I think he should have. Yeah. I can't say for sure.
It would have been running in the 3/5 into the he would have used an Elven Archer to clear one of them, and then the 3/5, and then I think he had Fugan or Stalag. So Fugan and the Elven Archer clear the 6/5, and then the not the Yeti, but the 3/5 with taunt. Tazdingo, exactly. Would have cleared your weaker high main, and then the bringing down 2 pyros and healing would have done 2 damage to the whole board.
Yeah, I was thinking worst case scenario he would clear. I mean, worst case for me was that he had Consecrate and he could clear 1 completely and leave me with 2 2/2s. I was a bit surprised that he left me with so much, and he played kind of into my Unleash a lot, which helped me, but
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, like I said, I have to watch the game again to see.
All right.
It's hard to say from the other side.
Yeah. Okay, well, do you want to make any shout-outs before I turn it over to Shade for her to give some shout-outs?
Just shout-out to all of our sponsors at DKMR. Hearth2P, WhtPwdr, Hearthstats, Gunner. I probably missed some, but...
Hearthstone Players, Make Me a Dragon, I Hearth You, Soulfire Masters. Bam!
There we go. Bam! Shout-out to Brad, who helped me today. In the end, just testing the last of my decks.
Cool.
As well as Kisstafer, who let me play Gaara instead of him, because I'm sure I would have lost him like I always do.
Well, you beat Gaara, who is an incredible player, has DreamHack wins under his belt. He's a deck builder. That's got to be a big boost in confidence for you, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Shade, anything you want to say to WhtPwdr or to the stream?
Just congratulations to WhtPwdr. You had mentioned this is kind of your first time playing in front of this many viewers, so good job playing under that kind of pressure and taking home the win. And I look forward to seeing some more of your games.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I've been following your tournament wins from way back when, and I'm glad to see you keeping it up.
Yeah, hopefully I'm here to stay. So.
Yes. All right, Shade. Any shout-outs for anyone else?
No, for me, I'm just kind of there's my Twitter and I stream sometimes, not super frequently though. But yeah, my Twitter's on the sidebar and my stream is just /shade_.
Great. And thank you guys. That'll wrap it up. I am Kobayashi Maru. You can find me at Twitter at Kobayashi Maru and Twitch at Kobayashi Maru. I also do articles, shows on iHeartU as well as other websites. My YouTube channel is YouTube/CNEGRIN, CNegrin. And you can also find a lot of my good stuff through my Twitter and Twitch. So check that out. Come out next week. We have another great event. We're going to have a lot of great people here every single week. And next week we have Reels. If he's on Mana Grind still or not, I'm not sure. But we'll have Reels here next week, I believe. And it's going to be a great event. So really appreciate you all coming out. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Shade, WhtPwdr, Kisstafer, Gaara, Poach. Everybody who makes this happen and all the wonderful people in chat. Thank you so much. Follow us, 2P_entertainment. And we'll see you next week. Anybody mind if I roll need?